My God, I wish I had my own kid.
Jason muttered in a sarcastic tone. I finally couldn't take it anymore and opened my mouth. What? What are you talking about? You already have one right in front of you. For years, Jason had relentlessly mocked me for not being able to conceive. Even now, as if to rub it in, he was holding my sister's baby right in front of me.
What?
Jason stared at me with his mouth slightly open. Even with all the evidence lined up, was he really planning to play dumb? I wouldn't let him. I was going to drag them both into the hell they deserve. My name is Natalie Foster. I'm a 25-year-old housewife. All right, it's ready. I was in the kitchen preparing dinner. When I opened the large pot, a fragrant, sophisticated blend of spices wafted up with the steam. I scooped a bit of soup to taste it. The spice level's good. The meat's tender, yep, just the way he likes it. I sighed in satisfaction. Just then, I heard the front door open.
Honey, I'm home.
Jason had come back. I walked to the front door to greet him. I made your favorite soup tonight. As I took Jason's bag at the door and turned to head back to the living room.
Hey.
He grabbed my shoulder. I felt his piercing gaze on my back.
How did it go? Today, right? Your due date.
I gasped at his words. My heart thudded violently, and dizziness set in.
Answer me.
I swallowed hard and finally spoke. It didn't.
What?
Gathering all my courage, I said the words. It didn't happen. Not this month either. The baby didn't come. I clenched my fists tightly. Jason let out a loud sigh as he watched me.
Again? Seriously? Why can't you get pregnant? What's the point of making my favorite soup to butter me up?
I'm sorry, but...
Don't give me excuses. All my friends had kids right after getting married. They're all busy coming up with names and buying baby clothes. It's all so exciting for them.
I want a child too. But we've only been married for 3 months. There's no need to rush.
Uh-oh.
Jason stared at me intently. Then, as if some cruel thought struck him, he let out a mocking laugh.
Maybe you're just defective as a woman? Why don't you go see a specialist?
He snatched his bag from me and stormed off to his room. I covered my face with my hands. I want a child, too. I want to carry a new life and feel that overwhelming love. I want to marvel at every little milestone of my child's growth. But maybe I'm not meant to have that privilege. My parents disappeared when I was too young to remember them. They abandoned me, my twin sister, leaving us behind. I grew up never knowing parental love. Can someone like me even be a good parent? It's something I constantly wrestle with. But I can't let myself give up. I truly want a child, and I believe that someday God will bless us. I'll stay strong and wait for that moment. Besides, next month is our long-awaited wedding celebration. It's a little late, but that only makes it more exciting. All right, smile, smile. I went to call Jason for dinner. Today is Jason's birthday. I decorated a cake and prepared a present. As I waited for him, the doorbell rang. Ringing the doorbell? That's unusual. I hurried to open the door. Standing there was a woman. She had the beauty and poise of an actress. She swept her glossy black hair off her shoulder with a graceful motion.
Hello.
It was my twin sister, Chloe. We're fraternal twins. Looking at Chloe's face, which was nothing like mine, I opened my eyes wide in surprise. Chloe, what are you doing here?
What? I came to visit, of course.
But it's Jason's birthday today. I told you in my email we wanted to celebrate just the two of us. Chloe gasped and clasped her hands in front of her chest.
Oh, oops. I totally forgot. I just missed you so much. Ever since you got married, I've been so lonely.
Ever since my wedding, Chloe has been dropping by unannounced nearly every week, sometimes every 3 days. Because of that, Jason and I hardly have time to ourselves, and we haven't been able to talk much lately. But when Chloe says she's lonely, I can't bring myself to push her away. She's my only family.
Hey, sis, here, I brought you this bag.
She handed me a paper bag. Wow, this is from that famous brand.
Yep. I usually give stuff like this to my friends, but this time it's for you. Take it and go out for dinner with some friends. Or, oh wait, you probably don't have any friends, do you? Not like me. Oh, check this out. Photos from the party I threw the other day.
My sister showed me a photo. In it, she and over 100 of her friends were elegantly enjoying dinner together. I chuckled softly. You're such a social butterfly, Chloe. You're the complete opposite of me. It's amazing. You're doing so well at work. You've got money, and you even have a boyfriend, right?
Well, yeah, obviously,
she said with a smug smile. I couldn't help but give a wry smile at her attitude.
Ha.
Suddenly, Chloe froze, staring at the table. Then she burst out laughing, clutching her stomach.
Wait a second. Did you make this cake yourself?
Well, is it weird?
Of course it's weird. Everyone knows store-bought cakes are way better. You're wasting your efforts, sis. How pitiful.
Chloe leaned in and smiled at me teasingly.
But hey, that's kind of cute about you.
She flashed a bright smile. Then her expression shifted dramatically as her eyes lit up.
Oh, by the way, I've got some news to share.
Hi there.
Jason called out as he returned from work. We stopped our conversation to greet the man of the hour. While I was cutting the cake, Jason and Chloe started chatting and laughing over a show on TV.
This actress is so pathetic. She's supposed to be a star, but she didn't have kids until she was 40. That's miserable.
Totally agree.
The two of them often bonded over making fun of celebrities. Almost like a real couple.
Oh, look, baby photos.
My heart skipped a beat at those words.
Kids are the symbol of happiness. Honestly, I believe it's a woman's duty to have children. A woman who can't have kids isn't a real woman.
Absolutely. Chloe, you and I are totally on the same page.
We just get each other, don't we?
I silently served the cake.
How about that, Natalie?
Jason teased me. Chloe suddenly gasped and covered her mouth.
Oh, oops. I didn't mean you, sis. I was just talking about something else.
Then Chloe looked at me with a sly grin. A look I had never seen before. In her expression, I sensed undeniable malice. Why does Chloe keep visiting us? She says it's because she's lonely without her sister. That's why I couldn't bring myself to turn her away. But is that really the truth? After the party, once Chloe had left, I received a message on my phone.
Guess what? I'm pregnant. Remember I said I had something to share? Oh, and of course, I'm getting married. Sorry for finding happiness before you.
Family finding happiness. It should have made me happy. I should have been able to celebrate. But something dark and heavy was growing inside me. Time flew by after that. Today was my long-awaited wedding day. We chose a small local church for the ceremony. It was modest, but I wanted to save as much money as possible for the child we would have one day. After putting on my wedding dress, I spent a quiet moment in the waiting room. But that peace was shattered in an instant. Bang! The door burst open.
Here I am. Congrats, sis.
Startled, I turned to look at my sister. But what I saw next was even more shocking. Chloe, that outfit.
What? What's wrong?
I swallowed hard and said, "You can't wear white. Not at a wedding." Yes, Chloe was wearing a pure white dress. She clasped her hands together in an exaggerated gesture.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I really wanted to avoid it, but I just fell in love with this dress. Besides,
She let out a soft chuckle.
it looks amazing on me, doesn't it?
Striking a proud pose, Chloe tilted her head, looking down at me almost mockingly. Her gaze swept over my outfit from head to toe.
Is that handmade? It looks more like a casual dress than a wedding gown. It doesn't have that classic flowy shape, you know?
Yeah, a designer I love made it just for me, with embroidery of my favorite flowers. Chloe smirked faintly.
Good for you, I guess. Though embroidery feels kind of old-fashioned. But hey, it suits you perfectly, so it works, right?
Thank you. I forced a strained smile.
Hey, it's time.
Jason said bluntly as he entered the waiting room. You look beautiful. Not even a single word of acknowledgement. I let out a deep sigh. The ceremony went smoothly, and soon the reception began.
Now we'd like to invite a family member to give a speech.
Chloe stepped up to the microphone. Instantly, the men in the audience began murmuring. She's gorgeous. Stunning. I'd marry someone like her in a heartbeat. Their eyes weren't on the dress, but fixated on her beauty and figure.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chloe, the bride's sister. Thank you all for being here today, even though there are quite a few empty seats.
About 30% of the seats were empty. Chloe's friends were supposed to attend, so we had prepared extra seats, but none of them showed up.
My sister doesn't have many friends, just 8, actually. She spends her weekends cooped up at home, snacking and scrolling on her phone. Isn't that just sad?
Soft laughter rippled through the room. I felt the blood drain from my face. Chloe, what are you saying? This is my wedding. It's a wedding reception.
But I absolutely love my sister, flaws and all. Jason, please make her happy.
Chloe flashed a smile as angelic as it was calculated. Applause erupted from the room. I didn't want to think about who it was really directed at. After the reception, I called Chloe into the waiting room. Chloe, what was that? Those empty seats were supposed to be for your friends, weren't they? And you made it seem like it was my fault. I pleaded desperately. but Chloe just gave me a sheepish smile and patted my head.
Oh, stop it. Don't get mad over stuff like this. You'll have a hard time in life if you do.
Yeah, my friend said it was a great ceremony too. So chill out.
The two of them seemed utterly unconcerned. Why? How could you? As I panicked, they both burst out laughing as if mocking me. I was left standing there, frozen, unable to process the bizarre reality unfolding before me. Shortly afterward, Jason's parents arrived. They comforted me and scolded Jason and Chloe. "We're truly sorry for what our son has done," they said. I felt slightly better, but a suspicion about the two of them lingered in my mind. A growing sense of unease that had been building, little by little. 10 months passed after that. Jason, his parents, and I were driving to a certain destination. Jason, behind the wheel, was practically bouncing with excitement.
I can't wait. Aren't you excited too, Natalie? Huh?
I kept my head down and stayed silent. We arrived at Chloe's house. Jason and his parents gathered around the living room sofa, all smiles and laughter.
She's so precious.
We're so glad she was born healthy.
In the center of their attention was Chloe. And Chloe's baby. The moment she saw me, Chloe picked up the baby and ran over, her steps light with joy.
Hey, look, sis. Isn't she adorable? She looks just like me.
Chloe radiated pure happiness, but her wide eyes and the twisted smirk on her lips betrayed her intent. She was savoring my reaction. "Congratulations." I lowered my head and mumbled softly.
She's so cute. Can I hold her?
Of course.
Jason's eyes lit up as he cradled the baby in his arms.
Babies are so adorable. Look, Natalie. This right here is the symbol of happiness.
Yeah,
What's with that attitude? Are you jealous of Chloe or something? No wonder you can't get pregnant with that kind of mindset.
Jason cradled the baby in his arms as if showing off and turned to me with a smug grin.
I wish I had my own kid.
At that moment, something snapped in my head. What are you talking about? Your child is right here.
What?
Jason's mouth hung open.
What?
Jason's parents froze in shock. I pointed to the baby in Jason's arms and, making sure everyone could hear me, enunciated every word clearly. Right there. Your child. Your and Chloe's precious little baby. The room turned ice cold in an instant. Jason's face went pale, and Chloe's smile twisted into a grimace. I pulled out a stack of photos from my bag and scattered them on the floor. Captured in them was Jason and Chloe heading into a hotel together. I already know everything about Jason and Chloe's affair. I made my declaration. Chloe snorted.
Come on, stop it. These pictures must be fake or something. Don't be ridiculous.
The only ridiculous one here is you, Chloe. I suspected something was going on, so I installed security cameras in the house. And sure enough, on the days I wasn't home, the two of you. I took out my phone and played a video. The footage of Chloe and Jason's affair filled the room. Chloe's face turned beet red.
What the hell is this? Stop it. Turn it off.
She lunged at me like a madwoman. She snatched the phone from my hands, hurled it against the wall with all her strength, and stomped on it over and over again. The screen shattered spectacularly, emitting harsh, restoring sounds. I watched her with a cold stare. "It's useless, Chloe." As Chloe tore up the scattered photos, she looked up at me furious.
Useless? What's useless?
A thunderous roar interrupted her.
Jason,
Jason's father grabbed him by the collar.
you betrayed Natalie. And with her own sister, you monster.
And you even had a child together. How do you plan to take responsibility for this, you idiot?
Jason's mother was crying. Faced with his parents' fury, Jason trembled violently.
Wait a second. We don't know for sure if the baby is mine and Chloe's. Natalie's just trying to make me look bad.
Dinetes.
What?
I spoke loudly and clearly. A DNA test will determine whose baby it is. Why don't you head to the hospital?
What?
Jason stammered, but refusing to give up, he turned to his parents for support.
Look, Natalie can't even get pregnant. A woman who can't have kids isn't fit to be a wife.
Are you out of your mind? You're the one unfit to be a husband for cheating, and with her sister no less.
That's...
Jason's eyes darted around nervously. His parents sighed deeply and averted their gaze.
You should say something too. Why did you do this? Betraying your own family is such a grave sin.
Chloe flinched, her shoulders trembling.
It's not my fault. It's her fault.
Clenching her teeth, Chloe glared at me with a demonic expression.
You're the one who stole my first love.
What? I had no idea what she was talking about.
Ever since Mom and Dad disappeared, I've been holding it together. But you were always so mopey and pathetic. It was infuriating. Then my first love rejected me. He said he liked you, that you were pitiful, and he couldn't leave you alone. That's when I swore to myself, if you want to be pitiful so badly, I'll make sure you're the most pitiful person in the world. First, I wanted you to feel loneliness. I kept saying, Mom and Dad are gone. Isn't it lonely? Over and over. You grew up so gloomy without any friends. It was hilarious. Next, I wanted to crush your confidence. I made sure you felt inferior by showing off how amazing I was compared to you.
So that's why she gave me expensive brand name gifts and bragged about her many friends. It was all to make me feel small. And apparently, even stealing Jason was part of her plan.
Now you finally understand, don't you? You're beneath me. Betrayed by your husband, hated by your sister. You're the most pitiful woman in the world.
Chloe laughed triumphantly. But I felt nothing. Pitiful? That's how you see me? I see, Chloe, expecting me to lose my composure. My sister froze, her face filled with confusion. But none of that matters. Right now, the only thing I feel is hatred for you. I loved you, Chloe. And all this time, you were manipulating me? It's cruel. Too cruel. So I've decided I'm giving it back to you. Everything you did to me. I mimicked her laugh. Chloe recoiled, looking at me as if I were a monster. Was my expression really that frightening? Just wait and see, both of you. I left the house alone. Months passed after that. Jason handed me divorce papers and walked out. There was no need to ask where he was going. Chloe's house, of course. Today, I was attending a wedding. It was cold, so I wore a thick, long cardigan over my dress, making sure the dress underneath couldn't be seen at all. The venue was one of the most spacious churches in the country, and the number of attendees exceeded 100. There were so many people that it was impossible to clearly see the faces of the bride and groom. The same probably went for the bride and groom themselves. The bride and groom entered, and applause erupted. The bride began reciting her vows.
Do you, Jason Carter, take Chloe to be your wife, to have and to hold, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health?
Today was Chloe and Jason's wedding day. I found out about the wedding a month after the explosive fallout. Chloe had announced her shotgun wedding with Jason on social media. The post also mentioned details about the wedding. They seemed to have prepared for it unusually quickly. It was likely that Chloe had been planning it even before my wedding. That would explain why Chloe didn't invite her friends to my wedding. I hadn't prepared invitations for Chloe's friends. Chloe had told me she would create a group chat and confirm the attendees herself. She said she wanted to ease my burden since I was busy preparing for my wedding. I thought it was a thoughtful gesture. But now that I think about it, Chloe probably never created that group chat. Instead, she lied and claimed all her friends would attend. In reality, she hadn't invited anyone. So, of course, no one showed up. It's such a simple answer. Looking back, Jason also seemed to invite only acquaintances he barely knew. Before and after our marriage, Jason never introduced me to any close friends. Whether Jason and Chloe had been connected before I married him, or if it was just unfortunate timing, I might never know. But one thing was clear. They wanted this to be their first wedding. They wanted to erase everything from my time with Jason. I couldn't let that happen. What was the time I spent loving Jason for? What was the effort I put into our life together for? To ruin someone else's life and be happy yourself. How could I forgive that? Resolving again to seek revenge, I steeled my heart. Once the ceremony ended, the reception began. Due to the sheer number of people, it was a buffet-style reception, and the venue was bustling with activity. I stayed in a corner, keeping myself hidden.
And now we'd like to share a special congratulatory message. The groom's parents, who unfortunately couldn't attend today, have prepared a special video. Please enjoy.
The staff announced this proudly.
What?
Chloe and Jason both widened their eyes in surprise. A bright light illuminated the screen in the venue, and Jason's parents appeared on it. Though they were smiling, their eyes had a sharp intensity, like predators locking onto their prey. It's finally starting. I glanced at the screen and let out a small laugh.
Jason, Chloe, congratulations on your wedding.
Congratulations.
The two exchanged smiles on the screen.
Everyone, thank you for being here today. As a token of our gratitude, we'd like to give you a special gift.
The audience buzzed with excitement, saying things like, "What is it?" and "A gift?" Jason's mother interrupted the chatter.
It's a gift of words. Now over to you, honey.
Leave it to me.
Then Jason's mother's face transformed, her once gentle expression tightening into a fierce, almost demonic glare.
Let me address the bride standing here today. That woman is Jason's mistress, and not just any mistress, his wife's own sister.
These two are not a bright-eyed bride and groom. They're nothing but shameless cheaters.
We do not and will never approve of this marriage. From this moment on, we sever all ties with.
Stop the video.
Jason's scream echoed through the hall. But it was too late. The shocking nature of the video left the guests in stunned silence. Jason stood abruptly and shouted,
"Ladies and gentlemen, that was just a joke by my parents. A bit too provocative, I'll admit."
The crowd began murmuring among themselves.
Yes, it was a joke. That's all.
Chloe began nervously into the microphone, attempting to explain. But before she could continue, I snatched the microphone from her hands. "It's true." I said just those 2 words. Then, I shrugged off the cardigan I was wearing. Underneath was a white dress. This is the dress I wore a year ago when Jason and I got married. You remember it, don't you, Jason? I turned to Jason. He stood frozen, his face pale as a sheet. Taking advantage of his shock, I pulled out a stack of photos from an envelope and scattered them across the venue. They were photos of Jason and Chloe's affair, along with pictures from my own wedding with Jason. The copies were more than enough to reach every guest in attendance. The room erupted into chaos. Watching the scene unfold, I let out a deep breath. I did it. I really did it. Having accomplished my goal, I collapsed to the ground, half in a daze. But then, someone grabbed me by the collar. When I looked up, Chloe was staring at me with eyes so wide it seemed they might pop out.
Why are you here? I didn't invite you. I didn't even tell you the time or place.
I burst out laughing at her panic. What are you talking about, Chloe? You told me everything on social media. Is that what they call a humble brag? It was pretty obvious. Her wedding announcement on social media had conveniently included the wedding date. November 22nd. A day symbolizing a good couple. Every time she updated her account, she described in meticulous detail what the venue looked like and how she carefully selected it. It was clearly meant as a dig at me. Look at my amazing wedding. Not like yours. But that gave me the clues I needed. I found the venue with a simple online search. Social media is scary, isn't it?
That doesn't explain how you got into the venue. Your name wasn't even on the guest list.
I sighed and answered the obvious. Because I'm your sister. The people at the reception desk were your friends, right? They knew my face. There's no way they'd turn away the bride's sister just because my name wasn't on the list.
You, don't tell me you were behind that video too? You brought it in saying it was a surprise gift? We didn't invite them.
That's right. Jason's parents sided with me. They came to my house to apologize and said they couldn't stand the idea of you two being happy together. So we came up with today's plan. I pointed to the crowd and laughed. Look, Chloe, everyone's leaving. Seeing the departing guests, Chloe's face turned pale.
Wait, please wait.
Her friends turned around simultaneously.
Well, Chloe.
Why are you leaving? Those pictures, they're fake, right?
Maybe they are, but we don't want anything to do with you. Associating with someone who might have cheated just isn't worth it. It lowers our social value.
Value? But we're friends, aren't we?
Friends? You used brand name gifts to reel us in. We played along for the perks like taking group photos to show off to someone.
That's not true.
Come on, Chloe. Let's be real. You only care about the numbers. The more people, the better, right? You don't care about us as individuals.
Chloe bit her lip hard. Clearly hit where it hurt.
Goodbye, Chloe.
Her friends walked away. The now silent venue was left with Chloe sitting on the floor, Jason holding his head in his hands, and me, oddly calm. "Well, Chloe, see you around." I left the venue. A few days after Chloe's wedding, I was relaxing at home. But I knew this brief peace wouldn't last. The doorbell rang. I checked through the peephole and opened the door.
Natalie,
Jason lunged at me.
how dare you pull such a ridiculous stunt? You ruined our happiness.
Unbelievable, you evil woman.
Chloe appeared behind him and shoved me hard. I hit the wall with my back and collapsed to the floor. But I didn't care. In a cold voice, I muttered, "You two never learn. But I'm glad you came to me this time."
Huh?
Chloe crossed her arms and glared down at me. "Jason, check your email. There's something important in it."
What?
Right before I opened the door, I had sent an email. I made sure to attach the photos and videos.
Photos and videos? You sent that stuff again.
Jason grabbed his phone reluctantly. His face grew redder and redder with rage. He spun around to Chloe and shoved the screen in her face.
Chloe, who's this guy?
On the screen were photos of Chloe, wearing revealing outfits, holding hands with several older men. The video showed her entering and exiting hotels with them and accepting money. "Isn't it sugar dating, Chloe?" I said calmly. "Chloe, you've been buying all those expensive brand name items, haven't you? I'm sure it was to show off to me. But it's impossible on a regular salary. So I looked into it. Turns out, playing detective was more fun than I expected."
You little.
Chloe flared her nostrils, breathing heavily. I turned to Jason, who was hanging his head in despair. "Hey, Jason. Did you do the DNA test?"
What?
"I told you, a DNA test will prove whether Chloe's baby is yours."
There's no need for that, because
Jason gasped, realizing a horrifying possibility. "Jason," I said, enunciating every word, "whose baby do you think it is?" In that moment, Jason grabbed Chloe's arm tightly. He turned to face her and muttered straight into her eyes,
Chloe, did you betray me? After all the lies, the manipulation, and even a baby.
What are you saying? That child is yours. How can you doubt me?
Of course I doubt you. How could I trust a woman who secretly does sugar dating?
So now you trust Natalie more than me?
Then you'll agree to a DNA test, right? We're going to the hospital tomorrow. That's fine, isn't it?
Jason grabbed Chloe's hand as if pleading. He must have wanted desperately to believe her.
Well, I.
Chloe hesitated, her evasiveness the clearest proof. Jason clawed at his hair in frustration.
Damn it. I thought having a beautiful wife would make me proud, and this is what I get? You sisters have ruined my life.
He stomped his feet, lashing out at the furniture and appliances before storming out of the house. Chloe tried to stop him but was shoved aside, collapsing to the floor in a heap. "Chloe." I looked down at her and taunted, "How does it feel right now?" Chloe flinched. "When the DNA test comes back, Jason will leave you, and now you don't even have friends left." Chloe glared at me sharply.
I still have friends. Not everyone's gone.
"Then what kind of messages did you get?"
Huh?
She let out a baffled sound. She probably hadn't expected a question like that. After the wedding, did anyone reach out to check on you? Ask what happened? Offer words of comfort? Chloe averted her eyes, visibly uncomfortable. I got messages. Even when you tried to humiliate me with that bizarre speech, and even after I divorced Jason, I only have 8 friends, but every single one of them cared about me and supported me. You, Chloe, with all your so-called friends, didn't get a single one. I heard the grinding of her teeth. A man you stole from me has abandoned you, and your friends are gone too. Chloe, you're pitiful. It was an honest statement. Chloe snapped her head up, yelling,
Pitiful? Me? What are you talking about? That's just your perspective. I'm not pitiful. I'm beautiful, have an amazing figure, and men shower me with gifts because I'm worth it. You're the pitiful one with nothing going for you.
Her angry words didn't evoke any emotion in me. I calmly replied, maybe, but let me tell you something, Chloe. You're not above me. You never were, and you never will be.
What?
You know, Chloe, I used to always compliment you on your brand name stuff, your popularity, your lifestyle. That's what you wanted, right? To hear me admit that you were better than me.
That's right. And what about it?
Here's the thing. Not once in my life have I ever thought you were amazing.
What?
I glanced at the bag Chloe had dropped on the floor. You know, I've never cared about brand name stuff. And I don't mind having only a few friends. I've never envied people with lots of friends either. That's just how I see the world. So, Chloe, you never had the upper hand over me.
What? That's not true. You've always said you envied me, said I was amazing.
I only said those things to make you happy. Because we're family. When you proudly showed off, I wasn't going to brush it off and act indifferent. To put it simply, I was humoring you. But you took it seriously.
What? No.
I did it because I loved you, Chloe. You're my only family, and I didn't want to lose you. That's why I made an effort. Chloe's voice trembled as she shouted,
You're lying. You were struggling so much with not being able to have kids.
That doesn't matter anymore, I answered with a sigh. Back then, living with Jason made me feel like I had to have kids. But life isn't that simple. People live differently, and that's okay. I've decided I'm not going to let the idea of children make me suffer anymore.
That can't be. Then what? What about everything I did?
Chloe started trembling violently. Seeing she couldn't even stand on her own, I dragged her out of my house. Goodbye, Chloe. I shut the door with a firm thud. After that, Chloe and Jason got divorced. The DNA test revealed that Chloe's baby wasn't Jason's. Word about their affair spread quickly. It was inevitable, considering they had invited 100 people to the wedding. Both Chloe and Jason were fired from their jobs, and unable to find new ones. They ended up living a harsh, hand-to-mouth existence. I moved away from my hometown and started a new life. In this new place, without Chloe or Jason, I plan to forget everything and start over. Today, I'm visiting a friend's house. She recently had a baby. Carrying a gift for the newborn, I rang the doorbell. My friend opened the door, her face lighting up with a radiant smile of pure happiness. Congratulations! I offered my heartfelt congratulations.